CCTV footage of the incident revealed one of the robbers moving close to the passenger side of the Bullion van and shooting at the police officer. The police have since been on a manhunt for the rest of the suspect. Now, on Monday, July 3, the two accused persons were arraigned at the Kaneshie District Court, but their pleas were not taken. According to the information made available to the court, the robbers bolted with over 145,000 Ghana cedis. Away from that, and to some news this morning, voting of NPP flag bearer aspirants continued today, with 3 more expected to appear before the committee. Former Trade Minister Alan Chimanting, energy expert Kojo Poku, and Vice President Dr. Bawumia were the first of the set of 3 to be vetted on Monday.
It's the end of the first day, but the beginning of a rigorous process to reduce the number of aspirants of the MPP flag bearership position from 10 to a maximum of 5. The first day of the vetting of flag bearer hopefuls of the NPP saw 3 stalwarts of the party appear before the vetting committee, which is chaired by the former Speaker of Parliament, Aaron Mike Okwei. The first was the former Trade and Industry Minister, Alan Chimanting, who spent close to 2 hours here at the party's election and campaign office at Kokomlemle.
I've just had the opportunity of going through the vetting process for presidential aspirants for our party, and I had a good interaction with the committee. I mean, it's all about making sure that we work together as a party in our march towards victory 2024.
Beyond that was the former Trade and Industry Minister's decline to answer questions on what many believe was the Vice President Dr. Bawumia gate-crashing his address at the Asin North constituency. Presidential candidate hopeful on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party, Kennedy Ejapong, as well as other party officials, allege Dr. Bawumia and his team intentionally gate-crashed Alan's speech at the party's Asin North rally.
Vice President
The Vice President was made to wait till Alan Chimanting started addressing the gathering. Then he was ushered in through the front to distract his flow. Alan was then prompted to stop talking.
What an impudence, small boy.
Alan Chimanting, however, declined comment. I've not heard from you on the Asin North incident. Can you get a quick reaction on that?
Thank you. Hold it.
Meanwhile, the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, earlier, while addressing the party delegates on the final day of his Greater Accra tour, called for a clean campaign devoid of acrimony.
We have a clean election. We are one family. Let's all stay united. When the contest is over, we will come back together as one family.
Just as the former Trade and Industry Minister Alan Chimanting exited the building after he was through with his vetting, arrived the energy expert Kojo Poku, who also took his turn to face the committee.
Everything went well. The conversation was smooth. I answered all the questions they asked in the best of my ability. When you finish speaking and people are able to clap for you, then it means they are impressed with what you said, you have told them. And after the end, I got a clapping.
About 10 minutes after 2 p.m. was when the Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Bawumia, arrived to take his turn to face the vetting committee. The Vice President, who arrived this time not in a bus, had his arrival preceded with the blocking of the Susubibri Street here at Kokomlemle. Well, 3 down, 7 more to go in this exercise that is ending on the 6th of July. Noble Crosby Annan, NPP election and campaign office, Kokomlemle, Accra.
To some other stories, and barring any glitches, James Jachi Kwesing will be sworn in as a Member of Parliament for Asin North. His oath would be the second in the same Parliament after his initial election was annulled by the Supreme Court. Eric Mawenegbeta has more in this report.
He has been responsible for what experts have described as the most crucial by-election in the country's recent history. James Jachikwesin became the subject of debate and controversy following the May 17 ruling by the Supreme Court, which declared the processes to his election in 2020 as null and void. It brought to an end a near 3-year litigation process while kicking start an intensive campaign which saw the two leading parties bring all their arsenals to battle. It was as intense as it was fierce, with pot shots and counter-responses.
The president is wrong if he said that, because he's prejudicing the case in court. They're innocent until proven guilty. He's not been proven guilty.
Constituents of Asin North, meanwhile, delivered their verdict with an overwhelming majority for James Jachikwesin.
I hereby declare Honorable James Jachikwesin as the Member of Parliament elect for the Asin North constituency.
With the House preparing to swear him in with an invitation to the general public, the controversy over the person, James Jachikwesin, appear far from over, with the Attorney General hitting back at persons calling for a discontinuation of the criminal case brought against him.
I'm not going to comment on it right now. I'll come up with a proper statement on the matter, and it will be in respect of all comments generally which have the tendency to subvert the administration of justice. I think that is very unhealthy for our democratic dispensation, and therefore we must not countenance him.
It does seem James Jachikwesin, even before his swearing in, would have to be in court for his application at the appeals court seeking to overturn the daily hearing of his criminal trial.
Well, the legal conversation and interpretation around comments about the trial of Asin North MP, James Jachikwesin, is one that is not ending anytime soon. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Dame, has described consistent commentary in the ongoing criminal trial of Asin North MP, James Jachikwesin, as unhealthy. He argues that high-ranking individuals' comment could impact the trial and undermine justice administration. James Jachikwesin is facing a perjury trial at an Accra High Court.
As a matter of urgency, I'm appealing to the President of the Republic. If he has any role to play, that trial should be aborted. The Attorney General should, as a matter of urgency, file a nolle prosecutor to end that particular decision.
I'm not going to comment on it right now. I'll come up with a proper statement on the matter, and it will be in respect of all comments generally which have the tendency to subvert the administration of justice. I think that is very unhealthy for our democratic dispensation, and therefore we must not countenance him.
Well, a private legal practitioner, Bobby Bunsen, says though the comments of the Domahene and others may not be legally prudent, allowing James Jachikwesin to go through the trial will put the matter to rest.
Common for high-ranking personalities in the society, other traditional authorities, people in academia, politicians, and people who society deemed to carry some stature to comment on matters that affect the society, including court cases, particularly when there are political stakes involved or the trial involves persons with known political affiliations. So it's not uncommon and it's not discouraged. It's not as if people are not supposed to speak about these things. I don't think that is what the Attorney General intended, or that is what he ought to have said in that context. Because in our society, people are at liberty to speak about such matters. However, I have also followed some of the comments, and I have held the opinion, or I have formed the opinion that, you see, either way, either side of the political divide, both NPP and NDC, this particular case and the commentary that comes with it should remind us of the institutions that we are setting up for ourselves as a country. We say we want to build institutions, not personalities. And so the Attorney General has decided, and we gave him that absolute discretion, that the provisions of our 1992 Constitution, to prosecute persons in the name of the Republic. So if the Attorney General has decided to prosecute Asin on an allegation of a charge of perjury, I do not think that it is right that calls are being made for him to enter nolle prosequi solely because the man has been elected as a member of parliament. That is where my problem is, because that would mean that we are beginning to form a society or admit a society where the law would be applied or not applied depending on your stature. Otherwise, what it could also mean that if somebody is standing a trial for causing financial loss to the state, until he is convicted, he is innocent. So the moment he stands for an election and he wins, and it is the other political party that is in power, it means that the trial should be discontinued. That may be the threshold that we may be creating for ourselves as in a country, and it stands to be abused because we do not want that precedent. I am of the opinion that the charge against Mr. Asin is perjury. I have heard very sound legal arguments from his lawyers, very, very sound. And I'm hoping that they would have their day in court, advance these legal arguments, so the courts would find him not guilty. If the court does not find him guilty, what it means is that he's been acquitted and discharged forever. His record is clean. But if we ask the Attorney General to enter nolle prosequi, it means that anybody, anytime, any day can come up and bring that charge again.
Well, let's still stay in the courts and bring you this news update. As we understand, the Office of the Special Prosecutor says it has concluded investigations into corruption and its related activities against the former Minister of State of the Finance Ministry, Charles Dubois, following an investigative piece by Anas Arimiao Anas. The OSP's office in its half-year report also indicates a conclusion of investigations into allegations of attempted bribery of parliamentarians by a wealthy businessman, as well as the case against former secretary of the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining. The OSP says it will issue subsequent directives on the outcome of the investigations and the way forward shortly. Now to issues concerning the presidency, and President Akufo-Addo has officially commissioned Phase 3 of the Adaklu water supply project at Dakluwaya in the Volta region. The project, with a total cost of 11.5 million euros, aims to provide improved water supply to the Adaklu, Agotuma, Ziope and Central Tongo districts.
The Adaklu water supply project, which commenced in November 2020, has successfully completed phases 1 and 2 in November 2022. The project has a capacity to produce 1.1 million gallons of water per day, catering to the water needs of 215 communities across 3 districts. With the completion of Phase 3, approximately 89,150 people will have access to the improved water supply provided by the project. As part of the project's implementation, 113 standpipes have been distributed across 95 communities within the 3 districts, ensuring easier access to clean water. The Chief Executive Director of the Community Water and Sanitation Agency, Engineer Dr. Bolanyo Siabe, has urged the beneficiary community to take ownership of the water facility. Volta Regional Minister Dr. Archibald Lecha says the project is a testament to the government's commitment to improving water access and infrastructure in the region.
I am particularly elated that the cry of Mama Jankuya for safe water was heard, not by any other person, but your good self, Mr. President. This achievement of your government shall forever be remembered not only in the history of the people of Adaklu, but in the history of the Volta region.
Paramount Chief of the Adaklu Traditional Area, Togbe Gbogbi Acha, commended the government for the initiative.
Is the main highway leading to the district capital. We agree to you, all the honorable minister of roads, to ensure that the road is constructed for commissioning in 2024.
Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources Cecilia Abnadapa encouraged the beneficiary communities to pay the approved tariffs for the water services provided,
so as to ensure sustainability of the project, and also to make sure that the CWSA gets enough funds to expand to areas that do not enjoy the water as I speak.
President Akufo-Addo said the completion of the Adaklu water supply project is part of government's ongoing efforts to improve the lives of the citizenry.
Government is improving access to sustainable water delivery within the Volta, T, Greater Accra, Ashanti, and Eastern region. The benefit of total population of some 282,032 million euros.
The project is currently designing Phase 4, which will extend its benefits to the North Tongue and Ho West districts.
Now, in a related development, management of the Ghana Water Company Limited has announced the shutdown of 2 of the 3 treatment plants at the Wager Headworks on Tuesday, 4th July 2023, for maintenance and repair works. The company announced this in a statement. According to the company, the maintenance works will be completed in 16 hours, and the areas affected include Kaswa, Wager Township, Wager SEC, Nyinyano, Tuba, Titegu, McCarthy Hill, Botiano, and surrounding areas. Management assured its cherished consumers that the water supply will resume as soon as the work is completed. Now, what was supposed to be a peaceful demonstration by members of the GPR2 and residents of Shama over bad roads led by the traditional authorities turned chaotic after a scuffle ensued between the demonstrators and the police. Pakojo Peters has more in this report.
For years, the residents have clamored for their roads to be rehabilitated after being awarded on contract. The residents blocked the major roads, leading to a scuffle with the police.
We are not begging you to fix our roads. We are entitled to it. Roads have been fixed in Achim. It's now our turn.
Road minister, demonstration, road minister, opinion,
In international news, a group of parents in the Gambia have begun legal action against the government, an Indian pharmaceutical company, and a medicine importer following the deaths of their children, which have been linked to cough syrup manufactured in India. The 19 parents are seeking about $4.7 million in damages. A team of lawyers from the Gambia Bar Association and the Female Lawyers Association of the Gambia are representing the parents. They want the Health Ministry and the Medicines Control Agency to admit they failed in their duties to regulate the importation, distribution, and the sale of medicines in the country. They are also asking for a declaration that their children did in fact die from the cough syrup and want the importer's license to be withdrawn. A parliamentary committee in the Gambia had recommended the prosecution of Maiding Pharmaceuticals, but it said the children's cause of death was still being investigated. That's our package for you this morning, but there's always more news on our website, 3news.com. Please log on for more. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good to see you.